So yeah, I'd like to start us off with just doing some intros. Tell me about your crypto journey, your Web3 journey, and your journey with MadFi. Nate, you want to start us off?
Yeah, sure. So, yeah, MadFi is something that we started about almost a year ago, maybe 10 months, at the Lens hackathon last April. So we were actually finalists. We built a module that let you rent out NFTs for your Lens post, and yeah, we won some prizes, and so we decided to just roll with it, and I've been building ever since. Our our crypto experience goes way before that. We've both been engineers for like 5 years in crypto and Web3, doing solidity, Web3 engineering, um, all of that. So yeah, basically for for MadFi, we started there, and then we kept building a couple different products in the whole sort of marketing and advertising space. And more recently, our most successful stuff has been a music streaming app that was also actually a hackathon winner um, at DevCon, and then our main creator economy app, which is this bounties application for doing sponsorships on Lens.
Yeah, I mean, Nate pretty much gave the whole overview there. I mean, that's how we got started with MadFi, and when it comes to the creator economy, we kind of just see how there's been a great amount of success on the Web2 side of things. Obviously, influencer marketing works. The brands have acknowledged that, and so we wanted to bring that over to kind of the crypto Twitter at first. And of course, Twitter APIs are pretty bad. They're closed. And so when Lens protocol was open sourced, exactly at last year's ETH Denver, we realized, wow, this is actually the solution to the problem that we had. And so we kind of rolled with it, as Nate said, won the hackathon, actually won a couple hackathons last year. And we just really like the fact that Web3 empowers people, kind of wrestles away the power from monopolies and from big tech. And so, we're here for it.
Yeah, I think you're going to be hearing this a lot today, but we're super bullish on Web3 Social, Lens in particular. We've been working closely with the team this whole time. They've been super supportive, and yeah, we're really hoping that Lens does take off. In the next few years. It's tough to build a new social app, especially social consumer social is hard to have it take off. So we're going to be expanding across like all the networks, but yeah, we'd love to see Lens go big in the coming years.
Yeah, I'd love to see that too. Solving the cold start problem is always difficult, and building network effects is always a tough task to take on, and but it does feel like the right time to do it. It seems like a lot of folks are itching for a new experience that's off of Twitter or off of Instagram and Facebook, and it seems like Lens and a few other products are building that experience for them. uh, can you guys describe more of what Lens is and what Web3 social is?
Yeah,
Yeah,
so yeah,
totally.
go ahead, Carlos.
For sure. Yeah, sorry, my PFP's mouth doesn't move. But if you guys see the little lighter from the SIG, I am here. Anyway, so Lens Protocol is a decentralized social graph. It all starts with the ownership of a crypto wallet, right, through public-private cryptography. And so with your wallet, you can actually own a profile and all the content that's generated from that profile. So posts are on chain, your social graph, your connections are on chain, and since your content is actually on chain, you can directly monetize it through built-in modules that Lens provides, like Collect, for example. Collect is like the new version of Like. Instead of liking a content, you can kind of collect it. You pay whatever fee the creator has set, or you pass whatever rule set the creator has set, and that post is minted as an NFT on your wallet. So yeah, you can kind of imagine the different kinds of experiments are going to be built on top of that. And another great thing that Lens protocol enables is developers to build their own modules on top. And by modules, we just mean smart contracts that execute on these social interactions. So anytime you follow someone, anytime you collect a post, anytime you comment on a post, and anytime you retweet, or I should say mirror a post. And so, there's this proliferation of apps that are being built on top. And Nate, I'll give you the floor to kind of carry that forward.
Yeah, it's really cool that basically it's like a portable social graph. So anytime you add someone as a friend or you follow them on Lens, now that's in your profile. And since Lens is kind of client or app agnostic, I should say, it means that any kind of app can be built on top of it, and it'll automatically import, all of your connections, all of your content. So the one of the first apps we saw was Lenster, kind of like Twitter in the UI, pretty much the same, but entirely built on Lens. And then we've also seen LensTube, Lensta, so kind of like YouTube and Instagram in how the apps are set up and built. But when you connect, you don't have to find all your friends again. You don't have to re-upload your content. It's already there. And yeah, I think it's going to lead to an explosion of high quality apps there. And yeah, the monetization aspect is really cool because, of course, one of the big advantages of blockchains is the programmability and the composability. So essentially the ability to, develop your own apps on top of other people's apps. And then also basically any application on chain kind of has this permissionless API that you can interact with by, interacting with their smart contracts. And so by putting all of their features on chain, you get that with Lens also. And so the first wave is paid collects or super follows, stuff like that. And then I think the next wave is when we're going to start to see some really creative use cases, ways to engage with your fans, to reward your followers or the people who interact with you, and yeah, more ways to monetize, like we've done with MadFi, where we plug directly into the contracts and we make it very safe and easy to make sponsored posts directly at the protocol level, like not like independent of any app that you may be using.
Yeah, those are great definitions, Nate and Carlos. That really paints the picture, and I'm learning more about how these protocols work and how apps are built atop the protocols. And at ETH Denver last week, where we actually all met, I saw a demonstration of how the lead developer relations person at Lens has his account, and then can show how all of his followers are the same across LensTube and LivePeer and all the different places that it lives. And it's like, imagine if you got this huge following on Twitter, and then instead of going to Instagram and having to start from zero, you bring that exact following and you bring your profile and so many of the characteristics that are with your profile across to Instagram, across to YouTube, and across to all these different places. And that like one image of his following being the same across all those different apps really like painted the picture in a big way. And yeah, thanks for walking through what it's like to build atop those protocols and build the app that you're building, which is a perfect lead-in to MadFi. Can you guys tell us more about how MadFi works and how you got the idea?
Yeah. So basically,
Maybe I can start with the idea part, Nate, and you can kind of carry it from there.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, so pretty much the idea with MadFi was initially something that really simple, right? We wanted you to be able to rent out your NFTs and promote them across, different social media networks. And so this is actually when I first reached out to Nate. I was building it, and I built a smart contract for it, kind of the promotion aspect and the rentability aspect of it, right? So then I was like, dude, we can't do this with Twitter. How are we gonna how are we going to post to Twitter on a smart contract interaction, other than going through some crazy Oracle stuff and some back end infra. And so went to Denver, and then one of those nights, actually, we saw that Lens protocol was open source, right? There was this open letter to be signed, and you could send a signature and everything, and pretty much we're like, okay, we need to do this, but we need to do this on Lens, right? So ditch Twitter completely. It sucked anyways. API sucked anyways. We could do this everything permissionlessly, on chain, and using this awesome protocol backed by Aave. It was kind of like it was actually the perfect situation. And yeah, I mean, kind of already touched on this, but we built at the hackathon hosted by Lens, LF Grow. We won that. And kind of the idea evolved over time. So it started as the ad protocol for Web3. How do we promote content using on-chain agreements? And how do we kind of, enable these relationships between brands, between sponsors and creators, but in a way that's transparent, that's censorship resistant, and takes advantage of the efficiencies of crypto rails. And what is that? Payments, right? Payments, on-chain agreements, and so now we kind of evolved to be this creator monetization platform for Web3 and Web3 social. And yeah, Nate, I'll let you carry it forward.
Yeah. So what we noticed was that Lens has this feature where you can create a signature that let someone else post on your behalf. And so what we did was we built this platform where the way it works is basically 3 steps. A sponsor will create a bounty of something that they want to be promoted or shared on Lens. Could be some new service they've created. It could be an album that they want people to listen to. Really anything. They just have to write in what they want people to share, maybe include some images or whatever. And then anyone with a Lens profile can come along and they'll actually upload the entire content of their post right there on the site and put in an authorization signature and then a bid. And so then if the sponsor likes your profile or likes your post, then they can the smart contract will approve everything along with the bid, and then you'll get your post live and you'll get paid. And so the result is that it's a lot safer to use for sponsors and for creators, because a sponsor knows what they're getting ahead of time. There's no kind of issues where someone uploads something that they don't like it or whatever, and a creator knows that they're getting paid because they get the money at the exact same time that their post goes live. And so we really clear out a lot of space for dispute there. And then also all of our payments are on chain here, so it adds a lot of transparency into the space. And it also means that over time, as we collect data, we'll be able to help you know exactly how much you're worth and ways that you can boost the value of your profile as we go.
Yep. And what Nate just described is the bounties product from MadFi, and we actually shipped that out about a month or 2 ago. And really, it was our foray right into providing the world, kind of just showing the world what is it that we are all about. And that was after months of experiments and building things, and we even had like a self-serve ad platform at first. Again, using on-chain agreements and like money streams, so that an advertiser only pays per second. As long as they're paying, right, then and an ad is quote unquote live. And so with bounties, we kind of we took a step back. We brought it to the creators, connecting people, right? It's about enabling these relationships between the brands and the creators. And what we're looking to do next is kind of bring some of that internal infra that we've been building to other products. So one of them is our attribution engine. We can pretty much, given an on-chain product, right? So like a smart contract with an ABI, so we know the sales and the interfaces and all that. And through a promotion happening on bounties, we can kind of tell brands and sponsors what the ROI, what the exact ROI was for their campaigns. So, we can pretty much see the creators that promoted their product. We can actually, using our client side SDKs, once they're integrated into, Lens clients like Butterfly and Orb and Lenster, we can pretty much say, okay, well, we got 10 creators that promoted your product. Those posts were seen by 15,000 people. Of those 15,000 people, we had so-and-so clicks. And then finally, the end result was, 500 mints, right? On any chain, on Polygon, on Arbitrum, on mainnet, whatever we support. And so, yeah, that's another example of something that we've been building internally. And we're kind of testing it in club space right now. Nate briefly touched on it, but it's just a listening party for music NFTs, also on Lens, right? So you can imagine Twitter Spaces, but for music NFTs, and it's on Lens, and that's where we're testing this attribution engine. So yeah, all these, it sounds like we're building a lot, but it's all in the name of creator monetization and really just bringing the creator economy forward, into 2023 with the efficiencies of crypto rails and other stuff.
Yeah. Kudos to you guys for building, especially in the midst of this bear market. It's like the future is bright, knowing that there are builders like yourselves making the future brighter and making the products that really flip how the economy works and how the advertising business works and how artists interact with fans and how brands interact with artists and therefore interact with fans. And I think that are a lot of headwinds that are changing how the advertising industry works, especially in Europe, but also making its way to the US. And this seems to be positioned to, accept the fact that so much is changing and utilize the blockchain and Web3 to position yourselves and brands in this new paradigm of advertising and how advertisements can, be positioned on the blockchain to show who's interacting with it, how they're interacting with it, what time they're interacting with it. And like you said, Nate and Carlos, the transparency component is really key here. We have no idea how influencers are getting paid and how much they're getting paid. And this is, sounds like it's a way for us to see exactly how artists are interacting with brands and how their fans are getting this new content and whether they're liking it, collecting it, or whatever word we want to use for it. And so, yeah, I mean, can you guys say more about the creator economy and how you think MadFi is positioned to succeed in the creator economy?
Yeah, definitely. The creator economy is huge. I think anyone who's sort of looked into it will know this. It's exploded over the last couple of years. You know, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter. Yeah, I mean it's gigantic. It's tens of billions of dollars a year, and yeah, I mean what we're seeing is that YouTube was probably where a lot of it started. Um, yeah, I mean I think what we're seeing is that it's not going away because for like YouTube, for example, you basically have two options to support your channel. Basically, you're getting some cut of the ads that YouTube puts on the videos. I think it's about 50% of their revenue. So, not a lot. Um, and then, of course, YouTube has a lot of rules that change all the time about what you're even allowed to put in your videos. So it's unreliable. You really can't count on that being something that can support your livelihood and support the development of your content. And so, of course, that's why we see a lot of people have sponsors in their videos. And the interesting thing there is that the creator economy has a lot of things that are really inefficient about it. So, like these deals that they set up, to get a sponsorship in their video. A lot of these have to happen on a case by case basis. It's not really a standardized way to run these. Another thing is that, like I mentioned earlier a little bit, sometimes you don't always know exactly what you're going to get, and so there could be issues there. Maybe someone doesn't want to pay or something, and then everyone's unhappy. Another thing is that a lot of times people don't really know how much they should be charging for a promoted spot or for a brand that they want to work with. And and then yeah, it means that they can get lowballed and they don't know. Um, and that's not good because of course we want creators to earn every penny that they deserve. And you know, we have all these problems. The good thing is that, when you do like a sponsorship deal like this on your profile, you get the option of who you want to work with. And I think that's valuable because we all know that like ads that aren't relevant to you are annoying, right? You don't want to see stuff for things you don't care about. But when you follow someone who does a travel blog and they talk about the cameras that they bring, or the hiking boots that they use to go up the mountain, that kind of stuff is relevant and it's actually interesting to you. And so when that's the kind of sponsors that they have, then it makes a lot more sense. There's more ROI for the sponsors, and it also helps their followers to find stuff that's actually valuable to them. And so where we see ourselves with MadFi is that we by having all of our financial agreements go on chain, it means that we can introduce verifiability. So yeah, you know what you're getting as a sponsor, as a creator. You know that you're getting paid. You don't have to worry about that. And also, it's instant. Speed of blockchain transaction, 5 seconds or whatever. And of course, it works. It works anywhere in the world. And the cool thing is that, of course, we're starting with Web3 social because that's sort of where we're coming from. But we can expand to help creators on every platform get all these advantages also. And the great thing is that that's something that we can do just by plugging their APIs in, and we don't have to like go through all of these institutions to try and get permission to pay people. We just run it through the blockchain, and yeah, you can immediately start getting money. And also, we're able to help creators get paid a lot more because in the Web 2 world, a lot of times a creator doesn't really, if you have some kind of video series or whatever that you're doing, it's probably what you're focused on. And if you suddenly become popular, you know, I think a lot of times you probably don't know like the business side of things. And so if people are sending you emails saying, "Hey, we'll pay you, $1,000 to like plug this thing," and maybe you want to do it, but $1,000 might sound good, but you might not realize that actually you're worth a lot more than that. And the ROI that you deliver means that you can actually charge a lot more. And so the way this is solved in the Web 2 world is that there's managers who will take like a massive cut of your deal to basically negotiate a better deal for you. That could be like 30, 40%. And at that point you're kind of back at like the YouTube level where YouTube takes half the money and then still like treats you pretty badly with their constant and opaque rule changes. And so with the blockchain, of course, the rules are all up front. You know exactly what you're getting ahead of time. And also, yeah, with the transparency of payments, then you can see actually how much should someone get paid for this. And then it means that the smaller creators, the long tail of people who are can't afford to have like a huge business team, like LeBron James, he does a lot of like Instagram posts about these shoes with Nike or whatever. He has a sponsorship deal there, but he can afford to have like a whole team of lawyers, do everything for him. But obviously, most people don't have that luxury, and so really, that's one of the big value adds that MadFi brings, is that we can bring that tooling and that capability to everyone, and you can be sure that you're getting paid what you deserve, that you're working with someone who's reputable, and yeah, that they're not gonna fall through in some way, and you're getting a good deal.
Yeah, that makes sense. Carlos, anything you want to add?
No, I think Nate did a really good job there. I mean, kind of like to kind of tack on towards the end, right? MadFi is about democratizing access to ad revenue, and at the core, what that means is putting money into the hands of creators, the ones that are bringing the attention to these platforms, right? Not letting that value accrue just at the platform level to these managers. They're all pretty much parasitic. We can do away with a lot of that and just do it with on-chain contracts. And I guess the other thing is, I mean, it's about creators, about the creator economy, right? But let's not forget about the followers. Let's not forget about the audience of these creators. And one interesting thing is that we have platforms in Web2 like Patreon and others, and there's like kind of these gimmicks about fault like loyalty kind of, and it's going to be interesting to see how we can take that on chain and pretty much make sure that value trickles all the way down, right? From the sponsor to the creator to the follower. And it's a little too early to say what that looks like, especially because it's all like going to be probably an experiment for a while, especially on Lens. But if I can just paint a picture, right? So imagine if we could have a creator earn a couple $100 a month from their sponsorship deals through MadFi, through the bounties, through our infra, and then on top of that, we can kind of have a kickback of that value down to the followers in the form of on-chain, kind of gamified engagement. So one thing that we're piloting at MadFi is the concept of a super fan badge or a creator badge. We're still not sure what the terminology should be, but we're essentially allowing creators to issue soulbound NFTs to their followers, to their most engaged followers, I should say, right? So their top 1%, their top 10%, their super fans. And as those followers engage with the content from these creators that's sponsored, right? By engage, I mean like it, merit, retweet it, merit, or even purchase the product that was sponsored. They accumulate these points on the NFT and making the NFT actually dynamic. So, it kind of evolves over time. It's branded by the creator. So, it's kind of like this cool little baseball card that you have that's tied to the creator that kind of changes over time, right? The metadata attributes change over time. And these points can be redeemed for whatever content that's exclusive that the creator wants to hand out, right? So whether it be merch or if they're a musician, their tickets or whatever. So everything that I just painted is kind of like hypothetical. We haven't exactly built the whole thing, but I do think it's going to be interesting to see how we can let the value trickle all the way down from the sponsor to the creator to the follower. And maybe that's how the creator economy really goes supersonic, because then, we're not just going for the likes, right? We're not just going for the engagement farming that's happening on Twitter. And actually, even some experiments that are happening on Lens, it's really just engagement farming without a value, without a purpose, without a connection. And so we kind of want to enable that connection, right? The connection between the brand and the creator, and then finally the connection between the creator and their follower.
Yeah, I think that we're very. We have to make it clear that it's very early in this development stage of the creator economy, and we're all part of the excitement is that we are piecing it together and we are building it from the ground up and figuring out how this does onboard the next million people, 10 million people, 100 million people to utilize Web3 for their creator economy. Creator economy is already massive, and we're seeing how many kids want to be YouTube stars and YouTube creators when they grow up. How many folks are making a living off of their YouTube page and their OnlyFans, and how many people are fully going digital and creating a personal brand to live off of. And it feels like there's one component missing, right? There's still a lot of middle people that are making a bunch of money off of this, and there's still room for technology and immutable code to enable, some of these back end processes to no longer have to go through a team of, LeBron James's entire marketing agency, where it's like, no, we can actually build this into the software and have that in a smart contract, and boom, you're not paying all that money for a whole team, and it's unlocking access to a lot of folks that couldn't afford it in the first place. I think that's incredible. I think what you guys are doing is heading in the right direction. If someone is an artist or wants to be a sponsor, what does the process look like to onboard with MadFi? Like, what would next steps be, and what's an ideal scenario of it all working out?
Well, I mean, I think right now it's the way it would be lined up is we have the platform ready to go, and our only job right now is getting brands, onboarding the brands, and actually onboarding the agencies, because the agencies have the portfolio of brands that might want access to a crypto native audience. And so, the flow right now would pretty much be the brand or the agency comes in, they create a campaign, they create a bounty, I should say, and then we kind of just distribute it to, through our social networks, and we get the right people to look at it. And then creators just have to come in, spend less than 2 minutes, create a bid on it, and earn 5 USDC, for example. The ideal scenario, maybe Nate also has ideas on this. The ideal scenario is, assuming we have this network effect of brands creating campaigns on there, maybe even reaching out to creators through DMs, right? So kind of just invite only campaigns. The creators or the users on Lens would essentially receive push notifications, right, on whatever Lens client they're using, right? So whether that be Butterfly or Orb or Lenster, and in the same space where they receive notifications about DMs or activity on the social feed, they also receive MadFi alerts, right? Hey, new bounty is live. Click here, submit your bid, and get paid. That to me is the ideal scenario.
Yeah, just to add a little more there. You know, right now Lens is pretty small. It's only 100,000 profiles. They're still in private beta, so it's the perfect place to try this stuff out, and at a small scale before scaling it up. And yeah, we've gotten some really good feedback. People are they love the idea that they can make money, just by sharing something on Lens, and it's really cool to see how positive the response has been there. And yeah, it's the outreach is probably the next step for us, because we sort of shown that the tech works already, and so yeah, it's super easy to use. It's completely open, so anyone can create a bounty. Right now, you have to have a Lens profile to create a bid, because of course you've got to be able to post on Lens. But that's something that's going to become a lot easier in the future. And yeah, it's we're just finding the people who can make the best use of it, and showing them, yeah, basically the value add they can get out of it.
Yeah, yeah. I have already, seen it just from looking at on the website. You can kind of like picture how this all can really come together, and I encourage anybody listening to, you know, try to get on Lens. It's currently in beta, but there are ways to, reach out to the team and get a profile, and to start testing out, what I think, and I think what we all think is the future of how social media works, how creators can monetize, how we consume different types of content and interact with the content creators that we all know and love. And yeah, I really appreciate that you guys are doing the work to build this house that we're all going to live in very soon, and to make it so brands have a way to in- interact with the artists and their fans, because that is a big component of Web3 social, is that we need to find ways for all parties to be involved, whether, we're taking away some of the old forms of advertisement and the old forms of extraction by the web 2 companies, like you said with YouTube and how much of a cut they took, and taking away their control and putting it into the hands of the protocol, and therefore allowing more of the money to go to the fans at the bottom, and the artists, and taking away a lot of the power that the middle people and the businesses had before, and giving it to the people that are actually interacting, the ones that are actually consuming, and the ones that are actually on the platform. That's the future we're heading towards, and MadFi is clearly building for that future. And I really appreciate you guys coming on and describing how MadFi works, and why you're here, and why this is also important. I think we can all agree it is it's in its early stages, but it's growing, and it's something we all have to start paying attention to, because the way that the graph looks, it's starting to tick upwards, and so it behooves all of us to really get involved. So Carlos, Nate, it's been an honor to talk to both of you. Where can people find more info about MadFi and about yourselves online on the internets?
You can get MadFi. We're on Lens at, what is it? MadFi Finance. At Mad Finance on Lens, and we're also on Twitter, MadFi Protocol. Got a cool profile picture. It says Mad in red and Fi in white on a black background, and madfinance.xyz for our app, and you'll find our blog there also.
With all the red we have on our branding, but just a little nod to the Mad Men show and golden era of 1960s advertising. So if it looks like you're looking at an ad site, but it's also red, you're on the right site. And Nick, really thanks for having us, and really, really good questions you asked. And I really like what you said there towards the end. It's the uptick is coming. It's the future we're going towards, and MadFi is building for that future. So thanks for having us.
Yeah, of course. That's a perfect note to end on.